Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting is an inspirational psychology movie released in 1997, which contains a lot of Rick H. psychological knowledge and philosophy of life. The first frame. Will, a janitor at MIT, was assigned a puzzle by math professor Jello, and Will solved it by hand. Jello was originally prepared to find the math genius in class, but Will did not show up. Later, Jello challenged the mystery man again, and Will was writing the answer on the blackboard and Jello saw it, thinking it was a janitor scribbling, and found that the puzzle he had spent 2 hours working on was easily solved. Very talented in mathematics, memory, and understanding than ordinary people in The Friend was difficult when Will with the amazing memory to impress the girl is another important role in the film Skylar. But Will is a weirdo in life. He gets into a fight and is put in detention, because he solves the second problem that Jello sets for him. He is released on condition that he is taught math, and has weekly counseling sessions. Will's first meeting with Sean was a bit unpleasant, but Will's overconfidence, his belief that he would understand what Sean was going through because he had read Sean's book, angered Sean, and maybe Will reminded Sean of himself, and Sean chose to meet him on a park bench. It's only when you love something more than you love yourself that you can understand what it is to be truly lost. But you're telling me what to do with my life based on a painting. You're a genius, but no one really understands you. Willingness to talk to Sean further through personal experience. Will's date with Skylar goes well, and Will's insight into science convinces Skylar, and helps her street Udi. But Will doesn't know what he wants. He just runs away. Will's interview is ruined because he doesn't know what he's going through, and the teenager is a GFT from God to the math world, and a ticking time bomb. The relationship with Skylar seems to be going well, but there are many problems hidden in the film. He is an orphan who was often beaten by his stepfather in his childhood. He made up the story of his 12 brothers, because he did not want Skylar to learn about his tragic past, while Jello, an accomplished mathematician, believes that Will should go into cryptography, and contribute to America. Sean, a psychologist, who has lived a life of poverty, believes that Will should up, and find out what he wants for himself. Sean and Will had a long talk that opened Will's heart, and Will broke down in tears. The reason Will was so difficult to get along with was because he was a genius who didn't want to waste his time explaining mathematical theorems to mere mortals. Even Hiro couldn't understand the mathematical derivations Will had written. Will grew up without understanding, and he still couldn't find it, so he always thought he was wrong, and that attributing too much of his mistakes to others or to himself would cause others to lose trust. He even says to Skylar, "I don't love you." Unfortunately, Will opens up in front of Sean, but Skylar is no longer with him. So can he get it all back? In the end, Will chooses to go into cryptography. At the end of the film, his friends built him a car so that he could travel to and from work every day. But when they came to visit him, he was no longer at home. Sean received a letter from Will saying that he needed to find the girl he loved. Give yourself a moment, as Will does at the end of the film, a chance to follow your heart's deepest choices, and give yourself permission to live your life the way you want to. This is the story of a genius who opens up his mind and realizes himself through counseling, and the main focus of cognitive behavioral therapy would be on a person's irrational cognitive problems and solving them by changing his perception of things. And I think the main character is counseled and treated through cognitive reconstruction.